What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing them the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday. It is May 21st. We are back with another video for you. If you haven't been to the channel, you are in for a treat. We do things a little bit differently here. We go through everything. We're going to look at all of the games. We're going to look at all the pitchers. We're going to look at all the bats. On top of that, if you need a little bit more help, in the description of this video is today's article, which is right here. It's also the link to our Discord channel where we want to get a lot of discourse going on. So if you can get in there, ask your questions. We give out core plays there. We give out sports bets. We go back and forth. We go through everything and we answer as much as we possibly can if you have questions. Also, we've partnered up with DFS Hero. The link is in the description. If you sign up using our link for the first time, and you deposit, and you get through the trial, and you go for a month, we will give you a free month of FTA+. If you go through the trial and get a yearly pass from them, we will give you a free year on top of that. So we do 2 giveaways every single day. The first one, as long as this video gets at least 50 likes, you are a YouTube subscriber, and you leave a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That includes MLB, NASCAR, PGA, MMA, NFL once it's back, NBA once the new season starts, because there's only like 1 game a night. It'll include that. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month, which is a $30 value. 150 likes is a chance to win a free $200 year value. And if this video gets 200 or more likes, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. So definitely check it out. Leave a comment, like the video. The second way to win, there will be a keyword somewhere in this video. Type that keyword in there, which will also be used as your comment for the first giveaway, and you have a chance to win a free week on top of that. We've never had the person win the same day, but that could change today. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out the winner from yesterday's video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomize this one time. And yesterday's video ended up getting, what was it? 49 comments and 95 likes. So someone will win a free week here. I'm going to do things differently today. I'm just going to start this and we're going to roll it. And then I'm going to do it again until we get a first comment that says the keyword from yesterday. Instead of typing out like 40 names on random.org, we're going to do it this way. This is easier. It's already done for us. So that being said, we're going to do the first one for the free week, and then we'll do the second one until we get the keyword from yesterday. So good luck to everyone, and you can win every single day. So if you've been here before, there's a lot of people that have won. We've had people win back to back. We've never had the same person win both days due to just leaving a comment and the comment being the keyword. So good luck to everybody. And the winner for the free week is Scotty Myco 6384. Did have the keyword as Savant. We're not going to count that. We're still going to pick another winner. But congratulations, Scott. If you see this, like this comment, and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com with a username and email you would like on the website. Or if you already have a username, let me know that username and we will get you set up for that week. So that is the winner for just hitting the minimum of 50 likes. Now this, we're going to pick another winner and it will be the keyword again. It could be Scott here again. So good luck to everybody. The winner for the keyword is Scott, different Scott, not the winner, did not have the keyword. We will go again. And we will see who it is. Let's see. Kurt did not have the keyword in this comment. We'll go again. Why Taylor 44? Boring, dragging, takes too long. Well, guess what, Taylor? If you got that TikTok brain, you can take yourself to another channel that's going to give you 4 picks, not break it down for you. I'm not holding your hand. So you'll be okay, Taylor. I promise. You'll be okay. Go get that milk, that warm milk for you. And then you just see Kurt Mahler, great content, awesome job on the website. See, like, you see that. Those are the difference between the comments. There's the one comment that people, Aaron Rasmus 3160, you are the winner. I believe you have an account on the website. I do not recall. Let me know. email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. So that is a great segue to let you know some of these comments. Yes, when you click on this video, it is 40 minutes long. I apologize. We don't give our plays all in shorts. I understand some kids today have 30-second to 60-second TikTok brain. You can't comprehend a full discourse on here, and that's completely fine. If that's your cup of tea, I can talk slowly for you. I don't know what you want me to do. We go through everything. So we give analysis, not just picks. There are certain websites out there that give you 3 or 4 picks, and that's it. If you want that, check out the article. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The article has plays at each position. If you don't want to listen to me ramble, those plays are in the article. Helps me out as well. If you want just the core plays and the stacks, those are in the Discord. This is the overall summary, or the overall picture. If you want a summary, we've got the article. We've got the Discord. I mean, we've got everything underneath the MLB tab, from simulations to player projections. We've got it all there. So, speaking of simulations, during the video, we are running 10,000 simulations in the background. At the end of the video, we're going to give you the top 20 bats. So, we have 15 games on the day. 14 of them are playable. That's not a showdown. This game right here is a showdown. You could use Adrian Hauser. You got to use a pitcher in this one, but I would mostly focus on Cleveland bats, Ramirez, Andres Jimenez, David Fry, Josh Naylor. Those would be the ones I do if I'm looking at a showdown. But we're not going to break that down. We're going to break down into the early slate here. So we're going to look at the early slate. It is 6 games between, and the weather as of now looks to be good. Now we have a huge today we have a huge storm rolling through. I'm trying to get everything done this morning because it's like tornadoes and severe weather, so I don't know if I'll have power. So if you get into the Discord and I don't respond, I might not have power today. So I wanted to get everything out in the morning and go through it all. And for anyone that was with us, was it last week or the week before, where I mentioned our fridge quit and then our oven quit? Well, you'd never guess that the garbage disposal stopped working, will not spin or do its job, and our dishwasher doesn't clean the dishes anymore. Everything broke down about the same time. Now, we bought the house and the appliances all came with it. I think they're about 10 years old or so, maybe a little bit older, which, okay, still appliances should last longer than 10 years. It's wild that everything is quit. That is money. And then my wife being in the hospital, that costs money. So every little bit helps, guys. Clicking on the ads helps these videos. Sending tips, which we've had multiple big winners and they've tipped us, helps us. If you're curious in tips, email me dfshelp1@gmail.com and I can give you that information. Clicking on the website helps, but the big thing is clicking on the ads and engaging with these videos definitely helps us out. So, looking at this early slate, not a ton of fantastic pitching options. Let me know down below, did you get Joe Ross yesterday? I had Joe Ross in one of our lineups, 1.1 innings, and then he left hurt. I don't know what's wrong with him. All I know is I cashed on FanDuel using him as my pitcher. I think we got 150 out of him, or the lineup was like 152, and that was our pitcher getting like 1 fantasy point. So it would have been a hell of a day had he pitched just a decent game. But anyway, Joe Musgrove coming off the IL, going up against Andrew Abbott. This is a Great American Small Park. This ballpark scares me a little bit because there are a ton of balls that fly out of this ballpark. Musgrove, 38 plate appearances, 243 against the Reds in his career. Coming off the IL scares me a little bit. Andrew Abbott, 16 plate appearances, 133, a 37.5 fantasy K percentage, which is pretty good. So we look at this. Musgrove coming off the IL has not pitched. It's been 20 days since he's pitched. Had a good game there. So kind of looking at that, I'm okay, but I mean 6.37 ERA. He's started games here. We see this. It's an elevated ERA. It's in a ballpark that produces home runs and a lot of runs. I'm scared. I'm probably not going to pay $7,500 to use him. I'd rather go up 300 and use Abbott if I were to use anything. 306 batting average or ERA against him. His he's hit value. Has not faced San Diego. Tournaments, I'm okay with Abbott, but bats-wise, I definitely could see, depending how the weather is, I could definitely see the ball flying out of this ballpark today, and that scares me a little bit. Just trying to see park factors. Great American Ballpark, yeah, it's got, I mean, there are some massive ballpark factors in key today. Before we get into everything else, let's just look at it. The highest one right now, Wrigley. Atlanta versus the Cubs. The wind is blowing directly out to left center. It's got a plus 48% chance for home runs in this game, so that's one you want to focus on. The second one for today is Great American Ballpark. This game right here, 30% for home run bumped up. Citizens Bank Park, Texas at Philly, 20% bump up there. Progressive Field, Mets at the Guardians, 15%. Busch Stadium, Baltimore at St. Louis, blowing out, 14%. Rogers Center, White Sox versus Toronto, plus 13%. So those might be the games you want to target for home runs or extra base hits, or if you're sports betting or looking for those plays, break it down a little bit. There are ballparks with some weather blowing out that we want to look at. So looking at that, I'm probably a little bit weary on using either of these pitchers. I think I'm probably off Joe Musgrove train today. If I were to use one, it would be the Reds bats against Musgrove. I just do not know if I can trust him enough to be able to throw him out there. Coming off the IL, it scares me a little bit. So throwing him out there, I'm probably off of Abbott for tournaments, but I'm probably looking at bats in this one. I'm probably looking at Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth. Like, these are the big guys. A lefty masher when he hits. Higashioka at catcher could be a sneaky option there. You got Ha-Seong Kim. You got Bogarts, who's now off or got hurt, so he's probably out for an extended period of time. Luis Arraez, obviously a good option there, but a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Jurickson Profar would be another one I'd look at. Reds bats against Musgrove because I don't trust him. Obviously, Elly De La Cruz, wouldn't be surprised. If he gets on base, he's stealing bases. Those are extra fantasy points. Tyler Stevenson would be one. Will Benson. Mike Ford would be a cheap option. I don't know if Mike Ford's going to be playing first base, but that's definitely an option for you. You get a little bit cheaper Stuart Fairchild or Connor Capel. Those are options too. We obviously have to wait for lineups to post, but I'm probably off of these pitchers because of the way the weather's been going. Giants at the Pirates. You got Logan Webb versus Martin Perez. I thought Martin Perez was supposed to pitch yesterday. No, he wasn't. I was wrong. Logan Webb is what I would look at. Love me some Logan Webb here. I would love this game a little bit more if it were in San Francisco, but I will still take Logan Webb here. Still striking out a ton. So we look at what Logan Webb has done. 8,400, so he's up there. Coming off a good game against the Dodgers. He held the Dodgers down. Issued 3 walks, but had 5 Ks. We're looking about 5 to 6 Ks, if not more. Splits-wise, has not faced Pittsburgh this year. His career, hasn't seen him a ton, but in those 33 plate appearances, 27.3 K percentage. So I'm looking at him. I would be looking at a little bit of the San Francisco bats. I don't want anything to do with Pirates today, and I don't want Martin Perez. Jorge Soler, Lamont Wade Jr., Wilmer Flores, Tyler Estrada, those would be ones that I would look at for the Giants. And we'll kind of just see the lineup that comes out for the Giants. If we are stacking the Giants, look for like 1 through 5 hitters to get a stack in there. If you want to differentiate yourself from that stack, you could look from like 7 to 2 hitter, something like that, to just have exposure to the San Francisco lineup, but a little bit different stack than what you might be used to. So I'm in on Webb. I'm off of Perez. I'm in on the Giants bats. I don't want the Pirates bats. Rangers at the Phillies. You got John Gray versus Ranger Suarez. To be honest with you, the way the weather is going and the wind is blowing out, I'm probably off of both of these pitchers. I'm probably looking at the bats here. So some people like BVP, some people don't like BVP. And we will look at BVP. That's another thing. We're going to look at top BVP later towards the end of this video, because there are some people that do like it. So I wanted to give that option too. We have it on the website, but I wanted to give that in this video too. I'm probably off of both of these pitchers because the way the weather's going, I'm probably looking at the bats both sides. Adolis Garcia against the lefty, I love. Jonah Heim, I love. Marcus Semien. Robbie Grossman would be a cheap option who normally hits lefties well. You can never go away from Corey Seager. Lefty-righty matchup, I'm okay with that. If, for whatever reason, Jonah Heim is out, Andrew Kisner normally smashes lefties. We could look at him. Ezekiel Duran would be a cheap option. So would Evan Carter for Rangers. Philly bats that you would look at. Obviously, John Gray, not the best. And he's given up a pretty good clip to this team. Kyle Schwarber obviously makes sense. Yeah, you could look at Kyle Schwarber, boom or bust. Brandon Marsh. I usually like him more against lefties, but I'll take Brandon Marsh. Alec Boehm has been absolutely murdering it right now. Bryce Harper's obviously a big bat we would look at. Real Muto, obviously a expensive catching option, but he is in there. I would look at Bryson Stott. I would look at Edmundo Sosa. Johan Rojas, maybe a little bit. I'm not 100% sure on that, though, but I don't think I can take a pitcher in this one. I think in this game, with the way the weather's going and the ballpark factors, I would be looking at the bats here. Brewers at the Marlins, you got Robert Gasser versus Trevor Rogers. So yesterday, I put a lineup out there with Ryan Weathers, and it came through for the most part. He, I think, got on FanDuel, got 43 or 46 fantasy points. Robert Gasser's never faced anyone on this team. Trevor Rogers. So Trevor Rogers has been very inconsistent this year. He had a pretty good outing his last start. Let's check it out real quick. Trevor Rogers is 5,300. Game log wise, 23.7 against Detroit. Tournaments, I'm okay with Trevor Rogers. He had success against Detroit. Now Milwaukee's a little bit less hitting team than Detroit, but they do have some lefty mashers. So I did put a bet on with Gary Sanchez hitting a home run yesterday because when against a lefty, of course he didn't hit one. So that means today, book it, he will hit a home run today. Gary Sanchez will hit a home run today because I bet him yesterday and he did not hit a home run. So Trevor Rogers at 5,300. I will throw him in one lineup because he is 5,300. It allows you to do everything. Logan Webb, Trevor Rogers, I'm okay with that. He is very cheap. He has a chance to do well there. But then we look at the bats that, bats in this game, both against lefties. Gasser here. Where is Gasser? 8,600 for Robert Gasser. 0.82 ERA, 2-0 record, 6 Ks. Did pretty good, did okay against Pittsburgh, did really well against St. Louis. He's very expensive. He's going up against Miami. I think both of these pitchers are tournament options. I don't trust either of them in cash. Obviously, the bats against Trevor Rogers that I would look at, because Trevor Rogers' ERA is up there. I would look at William Contreras. I would look at Gary Sanchez again. I'm going to go back to the well there. Jackson Churio. We had Andrew Monasterio in one of our lineups, and he had a home run yesterday. He is a very cheap option in this lineup. Another cheap option would be Joey Ortiz, Joey Weimer. I think the two main ones you want to get in there, you can only use both of them on FanDuel, would be William Contreras and Gary Sanchez. You obviously can't use both of them on DraftKings because you only have one catching spot, but on FanDuel, I think they make a great option combining together there. Willy Adames is another one against a lefty pitcher that I would look at. Robert Gasser being not bad. You could look at Josh Bell. You could look at Jazz Chisholm. You could look at Otto Lopez. You could look a little bit at Brian De La Cruz, but I'm probably not going to have the Marlins bats. If I have any bats in this game, it's definitely the Brewers. And I will take a shot at both pitchers for tournaments, but again, Gasser being 8,600, being that's his third career start, and he's the third highest priced pitcher on the slate. I don't like that at all. Twins at the Nats, you got Joe Ryan versus Patrick Corbin. Joe Ryan hasn't faced them, but he's got great stuff, and Washington is not very good. But then overall, you look at Patrick Corbin, 78 plate appearances against the Twins, 217 batting average. He's actually put up some, and you see that he is 5,500. Game log wise, not a good start against the White Sox. He only gave up 2 earned runs, but he had no strikeouts. It was a really weird no strikeout game in 82 pitches. Had 2 walks in that one. But then he had a good game at Boston, which makes no sense. Middle of the road here against Toronto, Miami. The Dodgers, pretty good game. So 5.59 ERA, The strikeouts are low, but just imagine if you put Corbin and Rogers in a lineup. Now, this is if you make multiple lineups. Put both of them in there, you could have all the big bats. Every single big bat you could have in this early slate. So I will have one lineup like that. I do not trust them. It is a very volatile lineup. But if I make 20 lineups for early, I will throw in a Patrick Corbin, Trevor Rogers lineup there. And then Joe Ryan is 10,100. Didn't win against the Yankees. 9.8 fantasy points, gave up 4 earned runs. Given up some earned runs lately. Strikeouts were looking right around a floor of about 5 to 6. He's got a respectable 3.74 ERA. I would be looking at him. The bats that I would be looking at for the Twins would be Carlos Correa. It would be Willie Castro, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler. Those would be the ones I'd look at. That's basically it. I don't really want any of the Washington bats. Joe Ryan, I'll throw him in there, but he is very expensive. And then you got Ranger Suarez, like I said. Probably not paying for Ranger Suarez at 10,300, especially with this ballpark, with the chance of the weather being as much. That very expensive for that. Red Sox at the Rays, Cooper Criswell versus Zach Littell. I'm probably looking at Criswell here, and I would be looking at the Boston bats. Now, we took Devers yesterday. He's homered in 6 straight games, I think. I'm back to the well on that one. I would be stacking the Boston Red Sox in this one. I'd be looking at Devers, O'Neill, Wilyer Abreu, Jarren Duran. Like, these are the bats that I would look at. Those are the 4 main ones I would focus on. And then depending on the lineup that comes out there, you could find a couple more bats or one more bat, 1 to 2 bats that you could complete this stack with. I don't want Littell, and I don't want any of the Rays bats. I do not trust the Rays offense. Maybe they go off today, maybe they don't. This will be one that I have no exposure to. Got the Mariners at the Yankees. You got Brian Wu versus Clark Schmidt. Schmidt's been killing it lately. Had his career game, his last start. That could spell disaster if someone pitches that well and now they have a good matchup. We saw the Yankees dominate Logan Gilbert and hold the Mariners to 1 run until the 9th inning, and then Clay Holmes blew it. Gave up, I think, 4 earned runs in that game. They lost 5-4. So we were all over Marcus Stroman, and he had a fantastic game. Went into the 8th inning, then Clay Holmes blew it. Now, I see a lot of people, is this your closer? He sucks. Like, he had a 0 ERA. He leads the majors and saves. He had 1 bad outing. You're going to have bad outings. Like, it's going to happen. You're not going to go perfect the entire year. I'm not looking at the Mariners offense. Brian Wu is very inconsistent for me. He obviously started, was hurt for the year, came in, left his first start hurt, came back, had a very good game. This Yankees team is pretty, they're hitting on all cylinders right now. I'm probably off of Brian Wu. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Schmidt. I guess you could throw Wu in tournaments, but I would rather focus on the Yankees bats. Judge has been absolutely on fire lately. Stanton as well. Volpe. I would look at Verdugo. I think he had 3 or 4 hits yesterday. Juan Soto. They're all expensive. It's going to be a very expensive stack. This would be one of those stacks where you could stack the Yankees and all the big bats, but this is where you'd have to have like your Patrick Corbin and your Trevor Rogers lineup. This is the one I was talking about. You got to pay down at pitching to be able to afford really the Yankee stack at the moment. They are very expensive, but it could work out depending on what pitchers you get in there. But Wu for tournaments I'm okay with. I really don't want the Mariners bats. So, yeah, we are done with the first slate. Now we are on to the main slate now. You got Garrett Crochet versus Yusei Kikuchi. We used Jose Barrios yesterday. He was a picture of the video and article, shoved against the White Sox, doing the same thing. Probably off of Crochet here. I will have Kikuchi because, again, you want to take pitchers against this White Sox team. That's just the way to go. It's been the way to win a ton of money this year, and that's where I would look at. I would probably look at the Toronto bats in this one. I would look at Vlad. I would look at George Springer. Bo Bichette has not looked very good. A little bit scared of him. Catching option, I would definitely look at Danny Jansen against the lefty. That's always usually a good focus here. Davis Schneider would be another one that I would look at. Justin Turner normally against lefties, but he's getting up there in age. He hasn't really done a ton for us this year. Those are probably the only ones. If you want to find some value, maybe Ernie Clement if he's in there, or Kevin Biggio, depending on who starts. IKF would be a cheap option for Toronto. Don't know if he's going to be in there. So definitely take a look. I think Vladdy and Schneider are going to be, and Danny Jansen would be my main three, but, Bo Bichette's in there. It's looking terrible lately. Those would kind of be the way I'd go. I don't want anything to do with the White Sox. I don't want Garrett Crochet, though. I don't want him either. We've got Tigers at the Royals. We've got Casey Mize versus Alec Marsh. In his career, 51 plate appearances in the same division, 320 batting average, a low K percentage out of him. This is a pitcher's park, though. And then you got Alec Marsh. Now, Marsh, where's he at? There he is. 7,500, so right in the middle. Couple of good starts here against Seattle, and the Angels had 7 Ks in both of those games. That's after a little IL stint. Has not faced Detroit this year. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with it. Dude's got a 2.43 ERA, 3-1 record, 31 strikeouts, back-to-back 7 strikeout games. We're looking probably about 5 to 6 strikeouts. If we could get more than that, that's even a bonus. So Alec Marsh at 7,500, I do not mind him. Casey Mize, we see him. He's down here at 6,700, 3.50 ERA, low strikeout percentage at 32. Couple of good game, or one good game against Miami, middle of the road here against Houston. Did face Kansas City once this year, 5 innings in that game, 2 earned runs, but only 2 strikeouts. Now, I don't know why. It is a pitcher's park. I think Alec Marsh is more of your cash option. I think Casey Mize is more of your tournament option. I'm really not focused on bats in this game right now. If we run the simulations and we see that some of the bats jump out, maybe that we get a bump to Kansas City bats, like a Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Nelson Velasquez, Michael Massey. All of these are good options. I'm probably off of the Tigers bats. I'm leaning more towards not having Kansas City bats, but we will definitely see what the simulations say. So I'm in on Alec Marsh. I'm off of Casey Mize. The Braves at the Cubs, Charlie Morton versus Javier Assad. Now, Assad's been pitching well. My problem is the wind is blowing out in this game. So Assad coming in, 1.49 ERA, 42 strikeouts, 4-0 record. Faced Atlanta once this year, 6 innings, no earned runs, 7 Ks. Tournaments, I'm okay with. He's had success against this team this year. My problem is the weather. It is blowing directly out to left center. It's got a huge bump to home run potential and runs being scored. That's what scares me. I'm probably in on a little bit of Assad, but I'm scared of the wind. I'm scared of the weather here. I would focus on the bats. Now, probably a little bit more focused on the Cubs bats. Chris Morel is in your lineup. Get Chris Morel in there. Suzuki, get him in there. Cody Bellinger would be another one. Then you come down to Dansby Swanson, coming off the IL. Is today his first day off the IL? 2,800. Yeah, so has not played since May 7th, but he's facing his old team. 4 home runs already on the year. I would definitely look at him. He's a cheap option and a $2,800 value for a stack. I would look at him. Tauchman, I would look at Mike Tauchman. Nico Horner, Michael Busch. I am all in on a Cubs stack here. Just because of how the weather's going, if I'm not going with Assad, obviously Matt Olson, if you could take it to Oppo Field. Marcell Ozuna had a big home run yesterday. That's another one I would look at. Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Harris. You could look at Ozzie Albies, although not hitting huge this year, and he's kind of expensive. Acuna obviously makes sense as well. That goes, I think, pretty much when we're talking about a Brave stack, Olsen and Acuna, pretty self-explanatory. You would put them in a stack, but I'm probably off of pitching in this one. I would rather focus on the lineups here. Next game, Orioles at the Cardinals. Like I said, the weather is a factor here to blow out too. Kyle Bradish versus Lance Lynn. I don't want either of these pitchers. I'd rather focus on the bats in this game, depending on the lineup. But Gunnar Henderson had another home run yesterday. He's always in there, especially against Lance Lynn. I would look at Mountcastle. I'd look at Rushman. I'm going to go back to the well with O'Hearn and Cowser and Westberg. Like I love a Baltimore stack here. And yesterday, like Sonny Gray was cruising, and then we had a 3-run home run out of Gunnar Henderson. And like I said, sometimes you just see that the salary for some of these pitchers is too high. Over $10,000 for Sonny Gray against this Baltimore team was too high. I want nothing to do with Lance Lynn. I don't think I want Bradish, so I would be looking at Nootbaar. I would be looking at Burleson. I'd be looking at Brendan Donovan for the Cardinals. Mason Wynn would be another one I would look at. Michael Ciani, if you want to get a little bit cheaper. You've got Ivan Herrera, and if you want to pay up, you got Goldie and Arenado there as well. The key word for today is coffee. Coffee is the key word. Coffee is life. All right. Angels at the Astros. Yesterday, I don't know what the hell's going on. It was a crazy day for pitching. I loved Framber Valdez, and he was cruising. Framber Valdez was absolutely cruising in that game. Then, what was it? The 6th inning happened? I'm trying to see. What was it? The 5th inning happened. It is absolutely wild. The Astros were up 6-1 going into the 5th inning. And then Framber Valdez decided to let 8 earned runs. It's and they didn't pull him, which was wild. And the thing is, like, I love Taylor Ward. He had a fantastic matchup there, and he was like the only one that didn't hit the home runs that I was expecting. Taylor Ward had a sac fly in the 1st inning. He is the one that got off to the pretty good. And then Chenul had a homer. Logan O'Hoppe had a homer. Joe Adell had a homer. Zach Neto had a homer. Christian Javier, like, he's got a great matchup, but the Astros just are looking bad this year. I'm probably off of both of these pitchers. I would be looking at the bats in this one. Logan O'Hoppe, Taylor Ward, Nolan Chenul, Joe Adell. You could look a little bit of Willie Castro here. Astros bats against Canning, Altuve. Jordan's, I don't know what's going on with Jordan. Jordan is currently hitting .260, and they keep pinch hitting him. He was 2 for 4, and they pinch hit him. Must have been a pinch runner. He was a pinch runner. I don't know. Jordan's expensive, and he hasn't been doing a ton. I would look at Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena, Altuve. It just depends on the lineup that they throw out there. That's what I just don't understand. Jake Myers, Yainer Diaz, like, these are Mauricio Dubon would be a cheap option if he's in there. I'm probably on the bats in this one. I'm probably not on the pitching at all. Then you got the Rockies at the Athletics. You got Cal Quantrill versus Aaron Brooks. Quantrill, 18 plate appearance, so basically 1 start. We look at Quantrill, though, down here at 6,000. 3.66 ERA. Actually had 3 straight starts that have been pretty damn good. Been under-owned. They put him up to 6,000. As a matchup, I don't mind him. GPP tournament, Cal Quantrill 6,000. Because it's in Oakland, which is a massive ballpark. I really want nothing to do with the bats in this one. And then Aaron Brooks, we look at him. 3.86 ERA, game logs. He pitched once against Houston. Went 7 innings in that game. You could throw him in there because Colorado's bad. I think Aaron Brooks, I'd rather go Quantrill, but Aaron Brooks and Quantrill, tournament picks. Again, you could go crazy there if you think it's going to be a low-scoring game. You put both of them in that lineup, and you can average about 4,700 for a stack. Not bad. Not bad at all. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with these guys. Cash, I'm not. And none of the bats really jump out to me right now. Then the final game, you got the D-backs at the Dodgers. You got Brandon Pfaadt versus Gavin Stone. Pfaadt, 42 plate appearances, 400 batting average. I'm very curious if it's like one couple of players or if it's just the team overall hitting 400. Basically, overall, Mookie Betts hitting 429, 3 for 7. Freddie Freeman's 4 for 8 with 2 doubles and a home run. Jason Hayward has a home run. Kike Hernandez, 3 for 6, double and a home run. Will Smith, 2 for 5, double as well. I'm probably, Team Dodgers stack here. And then Gavin Stone. We look at Gavin Stone, middle of the tier here, 7,900, 246 ERA. We used him against San Francisco. He didn't get his value. Value-wise, you're looking for about 2.5 out of him. Did hit against Miami. Splits-wise, has not faced Arizona this year. Pitching at home, does have a little bit higher ERA. Gavin Stone for tournaments, I'm okay with. And the Dodgers, it's pretty much any Dodgers bats. Mookie, Freeman, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez. If Jason Hayward is in there, it just depends on who's in there. That's where I would go with this game. And we look at BVP. Just kind of looking at the top BVP options. JD Martinez against Carlos Carrasco, 10 for 27 with 6 singles, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 370 batting average. Salvador Perez against Casey Mize, 9 for 21 with 6 singles, 2 doubles, and a home run. If you just want to go with off home runs, you've got Willie Calhoun against Javier, 2 for 9, batting 222 with 2 home runs. Sebi Savala against Schmidt, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, so both hits for Savala. Obviously came when he was with the White Sox. Tommy Pham against Kikuchi, 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. Bryce Harper against John Gray in a matchup that should be pretty good because the ball should fly out of there. Batting 316, 6 for 19 with 3 singles, a double, and 2 home runs. Those would be the ones that I'd look at. Those are, and again, people have been asking, like, what are the criteria? Well, look to see who's got like 20 plus plate appearances, so they've seen him enough. See what their batting average is like, see if they're extra base hits, and go from there. So maybe a Manny Margot against Patrick Corbin. Manny Margot usually hits lefties well. It's a great option. JD Martinez. Jorge Soler against a lefty. Against Martin Perez, 24 plate appearances, batting where is it? 429. I know, 286. Perez batting 429. Cody Bellinger against Morton, 389 batting average. You got Matt Chapman against Martin Perez, 7 for 20, 4 singles, 3 doubles, no home runs, batting 350. Like, that's another part of that giant stack righty bats that I would look at. So there are ways to go, different ways. BVP, historical matchups, recency bias. It's depending on what you want to use. So those are some of the bats that I would use. Those are all of the pitchers, all of the bats on the slate that we've gone over. If you have questions, let us know. Get those down below. But we are looking at the top 20 hitters after 10,000 simulations. And normally, when there's a main slate at night, we will do the 20,000 simulations. They'll come out usually about, an hour before first pitch, maybe 2 hours, just depending if we're waiting on some news. Weather doesn't seem like it's going to be a factor as of now. Obviously, storms can pop up and screw us over, but we should be good with weather. So, looking at this, we've got number 1, Ellie De La Cruz. Number 2, Bobby Witt Jr. Number 3, Ozzie Albies. Number 4, Spencer Steer. 5 is Francisco Lindor against his former team. 6 is Jorge Soler. 7 is Riley Green. 8 is Wenzel Perez. 9 is Jose Ramirez. 10 is Ryan Jeffers. Usually like to use him against a lefty. 11 is Kerry Carpenter. 12 and 13, Mike Tauchman and Chris Morel for the Cubs. 14, Marcell Ozuna. 15, Gunnar Henderson. 16, Brandon Nimmo. 17, Carlos Santana. 18, Cody Bellinger. 19, Tatis. And number 20 is Josh Naylor. So some of the stacks I do like today are definitely the Mets versus Carlos Carrasco. The Baltimore Orioles against Lance Lynn. I like Philly against Texas. I like Texas against Philly. Cincinnati against Joe Musgrove. I just do not trust him. So those are kind of some of the stacks. Now, on the cheat sheet, we'll have all of the plays on the cheat sheet. We'll have top 10 stacks on the cheat sheet as well. So that's what I've got for today's video. It's long-winded, but if you don't have TikTok brain, congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Good luck on this Tuesday slate, and let's bring home some bacon. Peace.